Welcome back to Missouri River Bottom for episode 11. I'm BP and we're in August, the beginning of year 2 on our farm. Last episode we bought a second harvester and a grain cart setup, then harvested 1 million liters of oats. Today we have some work to do around the yard before we get to fall harvest. We've got a bunch of small projects to work on today. I brought the Deutz up to the front with the forage wagon attached to it. We had, after the contract last episode, about 7 million liters of straw. We certainly don't need that much, so I loaded 5 million into the wagon, and we'll take that down to the bale sales and get that sold. But before we do that, I want to jump in and take a quick look at the contracts. We are in year 2, which means we're allowed 1 contract per day, and I was just looking at this plowing contract for $165,000. I think we're going to go ahead and take that one. So we'll accept that contract. We did complete the other plowing contract from last month, so we can go ahead and collect that. I was able to get that tractor to work on field 52. We recognized it and found it for course play. Looks like we just have to sort of play around with where on the field we are. Maybe the borders are a little close to the road, I'm not sure, but we were able to get that one completed successfully, so we'll go ahead and collect the funds for that. So let's go jump into the Fendt, which is already hooked up to our plow. Let's get it up to field 48 and get it started so that can run in the background while we run our other projects around the yard today, and then we'll come back and we'll work on that straw and a couple of other things. So all connected up, and we're gonna head on up to field 48. So as we begin year 2, we are in really good shape. We have no outstanding loans. So if you remember when we started the series, we had a $1.5 million loan. We used about $1 million of that to purchase this farm and get some buildings and stuff set up. And then we had, $500,000 left over for equipment. We quickly burned through all of those funds and needed to get another $250,000 loan. So we started year 1 with $1.75 million in loans. We got the first loan, the $250,000 loan, paid off fairly quickly, and then it took us most of the rest of the first year to get rid of our big loan. But that is all paid off. We did take a couple of loans out last episode just to buy the grain cart and the additional harvester, but we knew we'd have the money left over from the contracts to pay those back, which we did. So we're entering year 2 debt-free, which is great because, as I just previously mentioned, we are down to 1 contract a day. So not sure we'll do one every episode, but certainly is a great way for us to get a little additional income on the farm, but we need to be focusing on ways we're making money on our farm and our farm being self-sufficient. So we'll run up here with the Fendt, get this plowing contract started, head back to the farm, grab the Deutz, and take that down to the bale sale point and sell all that straw. I did check this morning, and our sawmill has some more products to be delivered, but that is the end of the wood we loaded into it. So the sawmill is not running anymore. So that'll be our last sale from the sawmill until we get more wood, which, we may or may not do. Gonna check here real quick. Gonna hang a left. We don't spend a ton of time at the top of the map. And let's see if we can find the field entry on this side. Seems to be pretty far down. And as usual, if we lose patience, I'll just take the ditch, but we'll try to get over to the field without going through the ditch. It'll be better for the tractor. Well, we're getting closer to the end here. We have a spot. Oh, looks like it right there. We just missed it. So just a small little field entry. Let's back it up. Right here. All right. So as we get into the field, we'll go ahead and unfold our plow. Get all squared up on the edge. Pretty good shape there. And let's drop it down. Looks like we got to get over just a little bit more. Great. So with that all set up and in position, come on over here. We want to do 2 headlands. 2 rounded is fine. See if we can identify the field. Alright, it looks like we're going to have the same problem here. So we'll run down to the end of the field here. See if we can get horseplay set up on a different location on the field. This is what we had to do with the last couple of contracts with these fields up at the top of the map. I was doing some reading online. It looks like maybe we need to round the corners out a little bit. Give them a little bit of space in the road. There were a couple of different suggestions, but you know, we'll just run down here and see if we can get horseplay to pick up the edge of the field there. Not bad for some in-cab driving, a little in-cab plowing. Working out pretty well. I don't know that we've seen that red barn before. May jump out and take a look at that when we get this started. Always fun to explore the map and see what else is around. So, okay, maintaining good position on the edge of the field. Go ahead and swing our corner here. And let's see if horseplay is more cooperative on this side of the field. Not yet. Doesn't quite look like we found where the field's supposed to be yet, so we'll continue on our journey around the outside of the field, trying to find a way to get this contract started. And then after we take the straw down, as I said, we have one more load of wood to take down. Gotta do a little bit of work with the cows. They need a little bit of straw. Get them topped off. I was debating, you know, just based on the funds we have, and we have that grass field, I was thinking maybe we pick up either sheep or goats this episode and see if we can find a spot for them on our farm, add a couple of animals, because we're going to have all of that grass to cut, and I think we probably could put another cut on it today if we wanted to, so we'll have to see. So still no luck here. Sometimes these fields just fight us. But yeah, if we can get you know, a sheep pen in, I'm not sure I want to do goats. The milk takes a number of other productions to really maximize. It's a lot of handling, whereas the wool, if we did sheep, we could just stockpile until it's at its best price and then sell from there. Obviously, we could, you know, have the wool turned into fabric and clothes and that kind of stuff. But I don't know that we want to get into that deep of a production chain on this playthrough. We're focusing mainly on farming on this one. But I think a couple of sheep would be nice to have on the farm. Give us a reason to keep that grass field mowed and give us something to do with it. Because as of right now, you know, we don't have any need for it in the cow pen. The meadow grass continues to grow back and keep our cows fed without needing any additional feed. So in that regard, you know, we're not using that grass field. I do suspect that we'll have some kind of dairy cows before the end of year 2, but we're not there yet. You know, dairy cows tend to be expensive. If I bought dairy cows, at least initially, I would want to buy some mature cows that are producing milk immediately. We could also do water buffalo, but I prefer Holstein cows personally. But those tend to be pretty expensive. We have to have the equipment to run the milk, and then we would probably get into some level of production for the milk to maximize its profit as well. So, you know, I'm not sure we're quite at the stage yet where we want to do dairy cows. So there's no other use for that grass right now, but we put that sheep pen in, we could start cutting the grass, putting it in there. We could even produce some hay in our farm production silo and have that set up and ready to go. So when and if we went to dairy cattle, we could just start the production of TMR right off the bat. Because if we're going to buy full-grown producing cows, we want them to be at 100% productivity, and the only way to achieve that is with using TMR for their feed. Okay, if this doesn't work, we're going to pop into the middle of the field. We have gone just about around the whole outside of the field at this point. Still not recognizing the field, so let's pop the plow up and head over to the middle of the field, get away from the edges, see if that's going to make a difference. If this contract doesn't work, then we may have to reconsider our choices here. Yeah, it really is. It's just fighting it. See if we can drop the field position marker somewhere else and have it pick up a little bit better. Couple around the edges. See if we can find something. Give it maybe just a second to see if it will locate. I was able to get this figured out with the other fields pretty quickly. Just one or two different locations, try them out. And, you know, really wasn't a challenge to get it to find the field once I knew I just had to check some different options. So, not sure what we need to do for this field. The one suggestion that did come up was just rounding the edges of the field just a little bit. So maybe we come in here, grab some grass, and come on down to the edges of the fields. I don't know that that really would help much. Let me round out the edge a little bit. Come over here. Maybe soften that corner up just a little bit. And let's run down and try this corner as well. I'm not sure what this would have to do with the game recognizing the field, but this was a suggestion on a couple of posts. And it was a problem that other people had run into on this map, so we won't spend too much time trying to get this fixed up. But let's just see if we can do something here to make it a little bit better. So, okay, we rounded out the corners. Not sure if that's going to make any difference, but we're going to give it the old college try. Oh, and, well, look at that. Amazingly, it worked. So I could not explain to you why the rounded corners makes a difference on this field, but we rounded out the edges a little bit, and it seems to be pretty happy with that. So we'll jump in here. I do want to make sure that we're on our first waypoint. Go ahead and get that guy started. And let's watch him. I think he's going to fold up and head over. We'll figure out where he gets started. Once he's started, we'll jump back to the farm, grab the Deutz, head down to bale sales, and get that straw sold. We're just under $200,000 now. I expect that straw to sell for a little over $100,000, so it'll be up to $300,000, which will give us money to put that sheep pen in. We can also run down the wood products, and we'll have to take care of the cows a little bit. And that's going to be a wrap for August, so we might even get into September this episode. We'll see how far we get and what we want to do. So this looks promising. We're dropping the plow. And as soon as the wheels fold up, we should be taking off. Just want to make sure we're set and squared and ready to go. Yeah, that looks good to me. So the plow is off, which is great. We'll head back to the farm. Find the Deutz. There we are. And our vehicle. And as you can see, we have 5 million liters of straw. We'll take this down to the bale sale checkpoint at the animal dealer, or the sell point at the animal dealer, and get this sold. After that, maybe we'll run the last of our wood products down. We need to put some straw in the cow barn and get moving from there. I did go ahead and get the anhydrous equipment loaded into the game save. I may want to try some anhydrous with the cultivating of our cornfield. I think it's just a fun mod add-on to the game. So I'll have to do some testing off screen, just make sure everything works and is integrated properly. But maybe after we do the corn harvest, we'll do a quick mulch and plow, and then we'll pick up the anhydrous cultivating setup and let that run on the field and skip using manure for one harvest and just see. Maybe we even lease that equipment. I'm not sure we want to buy it. I'm not sure it's worth having on the farm long term. I do like using our manure. You know, I always have the goal of trying to keep as many productions on the farm as possible. So when we don't have to pay for additional equipment or anhydrous, that'd be great. If we have manure, we may as well do that. But I do think it'll be fun at least once to give it a try and see how it turns out. So I'll do a little testing on that. When the time comes, we'll see if that's a good addition to the playthrough. And other than that, we're just going to do our regular farm work today. So I will see you guys down at the shop when we get there. We've arrived at the shop, and here we are, bale sales. Let's do some quick mental math and see what our best guess is for what this is going to sell for us. We have 5 million liters. The current price for straw at the bale sales is $33. So that should be what, just about $165,000. That's our guess. Let's see if my mental math is any good today. So go ahead and empty it out. Our guess was 165,000. How'd we do? 165,468. So our mental math was very good today. We'll head back to the farm. We'll grab the TLX and the wood. We'll come down here and sell that, which will be our last wood sale. And I'll loop you guys back in when we're at the shop with the TLX. Part 2 of our selling off of all of our goods today. Made it to the shop with the TLX and all of our wood products. I'm not even going to bother trying to do any mental math on what this is going to sell for. 3 different products, 3 different selling points. Let's just hope. I think we've been getting just a little under $100,000 when we sell this stuff, but I think we only have 1 month, so maybe 50. I don't know. We'll see, but just want to get it sold, get it cleared off so it's not taking up space on the lot. Yeah, 42,000. So not bad. So we're up to $400,000 in the bank, which is a great start. We are at the phase in our farm growth where we're going to want to start acquiring more fields. And we did a little searching and looking in a previous episode, and the fields on this map are very expensive. The cheap fields are about about $500,000. And the larger fields start, well into the, 1.4, 1.5, and into the multi-million dollars. So we got to make some money here so we can expand our farm and go into the next field. I'm thinking when we buy our next field, we'll put in a grain crop. Could be something like wheat, barley, or oats. Not against doing soybeans either, just for a purely profitable crop. We're not going to do anything with it, I said, with the production. So soybeans tend to have a pretty high value at sale. So anyways, we just want to start building up those cash reserves, find a piece of land. We do have a couple of nice discounts on from a couple of different local farmers here for all the contracts we've done. So hopefully we can leverage some of those opportunities to find a good piece of land. But I don't even think we can really start looking at land until we've got, you know, at least $1 million or $1.2 million. So just going to keep plugging away. We'll take the TLX back and get the flat deck parked. We'll jump over to the JCB, and then we've got some yard work to do. We got to get straw to the cows. I do want to get the slurry moved over to the slurry dryer to continue to produce manure, and just see what other little projects around the farm we have to do today. Sort of just a maintenance kind of day, just keeping everything moving. And when we wrap all that up, we'll take a look and see if getting that sheep pen put in. I'm actually thinking right over here to the right behind the grain bin, we've got sort of a dead space that wraps around. Maybe we look over there for a place to put the sheep pen and increase our animal holdings before the end of the episode. So here we are back at the farm. We will put the trailer away. Go ahead and get that disconnected. I'm going to leave the TLX out for now in case we do end up grabbing some sheep. So I'm just going to park that here. We'll hop out, run down to the JCB. I don't think it's connected to our Flegel, or sort of our barn trailer that fits into those lower doors, and it has straw on it. So we'll get connected up to that. Run down to the barn, make sure they're topped off with straw so we continue getting our manure. Yeah, we were on the tender here, so we'll get started. And, oh, we are connected. Okay, well, we're connected to our slurry tanker, so let's just go ahead and start doing the slurry first, I guess. And we'll do the straw second. That worked out. We'll swing through here. Let's see how much slurry we have. It's been a couple of months since we pulled anything out, so we might have quite a bit. So 242,000. So that's going to be several trips. So what I might do is do this first one, then get this, get the JCB set up on auto drive to make a couple of trips and get the rest of it up and in there. And while we do that, we could jump into Deutz, connect that up to the Flegel, and take care of the straw as well. So don't want to be just driving in circles with you guys all afternoon. So here's our first load of slurry. We'll take that out. Just run it across. That manure heap's looking good. We're getting lots of manure, which is what we wanted. Hop up here to the slurry dryer. Go ahead and empty. While that's emptying, we will go into the production and make sure our manure is turned on. It is. Is fertilizer? No, fertilizer is not turned on. All right, so we have 40,000 liters of manure in here. We had used all the previous slurry. We started with about 150,000 liters of slurry. We got about 40 out of there. I think we did pull some out at one point. But this will be good. We do have that productivity mod on here running at 300%. So we should be able to get through about 60,000 liters of slurry a day, which will be really good. And we'll have all that manure ready to go down on the field. So once that's in and emptied, we will start working on setting up the auto drive course. So we want to pick up at the cows slurry. We want to drop off at our production at the slurry dryer. We're going to do slurry. We had, I think we need to do 5 total trips to get all of it. So let's go ahead and start that. I'm going to jump out of the cab and let's watch this first one. We got this all set up last time, so it shouldn't be a problem, but always good just to give it a once over, make sure there's anything parked in the way, none of the courses got moved or bumped when we did something else. So we'll see how the JCB does here in navigating all of these turns. What we could actually do here is jump on out, get into the Deutz, disconnect from our forage wagon, and swing over and pick up the straw while we're waiting. and we can actually watch the JCB work and make sure it's on track when we're doing this. So connect up to the Fleagle. Got that, great. We are at 66% on that plowing contract, which is great news. So there's the JCB turning in. Everything looks to be working just fine and dandy, so that's great. I assume that our Deutz is going to fit in this barn. It is a bit of a low roof. So straw, we have 68,000 in here. I suspect we're going to have to go fill up again. Once this is out, we'll pull up the menu and check and see where we are with the cows. So straw, yeah, they'll take another 22-ish thousand. So we'll go top that off and should be good to go. Our meadow continues to regrow every day, so our cattle are grazing naturally, which is what we want. It does bring up an interesting discussion, because I've said several times that we might pick up some dairy cattle and how we need to get them TMR to be fed. And I'm not sure I want to feed our beef cattle TMR. It seems like a bit of a waste. So if we had the dairy cows in here, it could be a bit challenging to get TMR to them and not have, you know, because the cows eat the best food available to them. All of our beef cattle would then be eating TMR as well. So we may actually wait real quick and let the JCB finish emptying. You can actually see all that steaming stuff in the background there is actually manure, so it does fill up a sort of a manure pit here. Jump out and take a look at this mod. It's really cool. So they've got this water running in here, which is where your slurry goes into, and then as it dries, it comes back here, and this is where the manure is stored. You've got these sort of hoppers here, so it's a very cool mod. Lots of working parts, lots of moving parts as well. And not just, you know, some of the productions are just stock buildings and you can't see any of the inner workings. You put some stuff into, you know, through a door and it just pops out in a trigger, and that's what you have. This is really nice. You can sort of see stuff working, see stuff filling up. There's some animations. Really a well thought out mod. So we'll swing into our farm production silo. We should have, okay, so we have almost 1 million liters of silage. We still have 6 million liters of straw. So we are not short on straw by any stretch of the imagination. There's another 100,000. We'll drive around, top off the barn with straw and have all of that done. I do wonder when we're done with that, maybe we take a look at the price for silage and maybe go run and sell some of that as well too. Here we are just chasing the JCB on its rounds. This will be our last pass, but the JCB probably has 4 more. I think we set it to 5. So love this cow barn. Got the fans on the end, the fans on the ceiling. You know, I like mods that have moving and working parts. You know, just even, you know, popping out here. You got a real, you know, light switch for the lights here. Makes it look nice. You got doors that open and close. You know, the actual tanker for the milk. You know, just, again, like the mods that have details you can get into, you can see things. It's really nice. So yeah, we did put about 22,000 liters of straw down. The cows are all topped up, which is good news. We'll sneak behind the JCB here while it's filling up, and let's just set this guy to park. And while he's doing that, we'll jump in and take a look at our products we have to sell. So silage, the top price is 120. We're at 117. So really, we're talking about, you know, $3,000 difference if we were to sell all of it. I'm not sure I want to sell all of it. We do have $109,000 worth of lime. That could be, you know, an interesting thing to sell as well. And then, yeah, the oats are not at their top price yet. Not even close. We're missing close to 40 grand off the top price if we sell now. So we'll skip that. So maybe we sell some lime and some silage just to continue to build up that bank balance. So if we're going to do that, let's grab the TLX and our underbelly trailer. our Wilson pace setter and go ahead and get that filled up. And we got just about 15% more on that plowing contract. So I think if we run the silage down, the plowing contract will be just about finished up. And, you know, we'll be in good shape there. Maybe we save the lime for a different day and we sell some silage today, and then we look at that sheep pen before we head into September. So grab this right here. Got it. Throw the tarp off. We are going to do a quick chase cam on this one just to make sure both hoppers are in the trigger. All right, straw, silage. There we go. And the best place to sell the silage is going to be bale sales. So we're going for round 3 at the bale sales. I'm going to send him down there on auto drive to sell, and we'll look at that sheep pen once he's full. So should be just about a full load for this trailer. Each hopper holds 500,000 liters. So put 500 in the front and then just a little less than 500 in the second one in the rear. Okay. We got to wait for that to go in. Then we'll set up the auto drive, which will just send the truck down there and back. The JCB's making another run. Love when auto drive courses work as intended and we can get work done without having to do it all ourselves. Alright, that is full. We'll close that up. Jump back in here. We'll get the TLX back to the front of the farm, so you don't have to worry about swinging the trailer wide. Don't want to hire a worker at the back where they might find some things to run into. Okay, so we're set here. And just to keep him moving, I'm going to set the fill point to be our farm silo, so he'll return here. We want him to empty at bale sales, and we're getting rid of TMR here. I'm sorry, silage. Okay, so we'll do this. He's off to bale sales, and he will return to the farm silo. So, before we start any kind of construction, let's go ahead and get a quick save. Make sure we're happy with the results. Great. Check the sale today. Got a bale handler, a windrower, another MacDon header, got a carrot beet parsnip harvester, something we probably won't get into. You know, I've never actually used one of these forage mixer wagons. They look really cool, but you got to have a lot of bales or loose products, and I just like my stuff in silos, so I don't end up using it. This transport trailer is great. This one, I believe, also has extensions that can come out on the sides. So, very cool. Not sure we'll use it on this playthrough, but one I do like. Another S7, which is a great tractor, a great combine harvester. Again, the capacity isn't quite what we're looking for. Another windrower, a couple of balers. The forage harvester, that is intriguing. You know, it would be an easier way to do silage and grass, but you know, right now we're good to go. Kinsey Blue Drive, we already have the bigger version of that plow. Conveyor belt, bale shredder, another planter. The Lizard Colossus spreader, which is interesting. One of these does fertilizer and lime. The other one does, I think the Unrealistic does the fertilizer, lime, and manure. So, and then we're back up into the stuff we already had. So nothing that we really need. So if we were going to grab a sheep pen, got a couple of modified ones here. Now, I think we'd want at least 500 sheep. So we've got this one that starts holding 500. This one holds 1,000. So maybe let's see. Oh, Didn't mean to place that. That's why we save. All right, let's go ahead and sell that. That was just a misclick on my part. Okay, so we're back in here. Get it oriented. I do sort of like the idea of having the sheep pen off of this corner. We could use this whole grass area here all the way around for the pen and let the animals be there. But if we did that, we'd be in pretty good shape. I do think we're going to come off of this road. I do want to be at the level of the road so we have a nice, easy pull in. So maybe just grab this, level this out a little bit. Because we don't mind if the meadow itself drops down a little bit. We can soften all those corners, but we do really want our ability to get in and out to be nice and level and square. So let's just get that edge cleaned up. All right, back to the sheep pen. Here's the one that holds 1,000. That's going to be a nice, easy spot to do that. We'll have nice entrance and exit. Excellent. So I like how that looks. Let's soften up all of our edges so we don't have any problem with the fence going in. Great. I think that's going to be just about it. And we'll put the sheep pen right here. That's going to be the animal side. That's going to be the side with the trigger for the wool. So we'll approach on this side so we don't actually need it to be totally squared up, but we'll get it done. So bring this side out. Want to leave a decent amount of room from the road so we can get our equipment down here and back without running into anything. I think we'll go right about there. That'll bring us all the way. We could even grab this tree off from a little bit of shade. See if we can't get a camera angle that can see that. Don't want to get too close. We want to give our vehicles room to work. And let's see which way it's going to connect here. So it's going all the way down to there. I think we'll bring this one to here and then snap it in there. I think we missed closing it off by just a little bit. So let's... Oh, we screwed up the whole thing. So it actually starts on this edge. There we go. So that'll actually make this a little bit easier. So we'll swing out here. I do like how every time I put the fence down, we get some sheep noises in the background as though they're approving of their new pasture. And all the way back down here. Bring it up nicely. Let's see where we want to actually line that one up. And let's see if we get meadow out of this. Oh, I don't know that we did. We'll have to wait and see. But it doesn't look like it planted meadow, which means we may have to put grass in ourselves, but we can figure that out. So for right now, we'll throw some grass in just to finish off the look. We don't really need meadow grass to grow because we'll be harvesting grass out of our field to feed our sheep. So not a big deal either way. Do want to get some gravel going just in regards to the access points. Let's get all this graveled in. a truck in there to grab the wool nice and easily. And get rid of all this dirt and grass. There we go. I think it's probably worth putting a couple of trees in. Offer the sheep some shade. Maybe a couple of different types of trees. Offer them some protection as well. Plant some big ones down here along the edge. Great. I think that's going to be about it for the sheep pen. Looks good to me. The TLX should be back any moment now. In which case we will go grab some sheep. There it is. Pull them back in. Perfect timing. That'll park itself under our silo. We can go grab some sheep. And while he's doing that, I'm just going to run down here. I wonder if our grass field is ready to be mowed. We could mow the grass field real quick and get some grass in there for our sheep. So it's not harvestable until tomorrow. So I think what we'll do, well, we could harvest it now. It is ready. But you can see this grass right here is a little taller. This is the third growth state, so we're not getting the full bonus. We should let it go one more day to get that bonus. So maybe we'll call the episode here, and we'll pick up some sheep tomorrow and get the grass cut and get them all squared away. Our plowing contract is complete. Let's go grab the Fent, which should be up here. Yep, we're all done. So let's send him back to the farm. Get him moving. While he's doing that, we will collect on that contract. There's $165,000 there. And that was our one contract for the day. What's the plan here, buddy? You gonna get out to the road, or are you stuck? Or you just enjoy driving in the weeds? I can't tell if he's actually trying to get out to the road or if he's just stuck in the ditch. So we'll watch him for a minute and see what happens. There we go. We're making a little bit of progress out of the ditch. So let's see. Here we go. You're going to get all the way out here. You got to turn up this road, guy. And we made it out of the ditch. All right, so he's on his way back. So overall, a successful episode. We got the cows taken care of. We did get our new sheep pen put in. We completed the plowing contract. We sold off some wood. We sold off some silage. We sold off some straw. So we're starting to build up a bit of a bank balance. We have $608,000 in the bank right now, which is great. As I said, we will need close to $1 million, $1.5 million to pick up another field. And it'd be great to pick up a field the next month or two, maybe even when it's harvest ready. You know, grab a field that another farmer planted, and they're selling because they can't get it harvested this year. And we could pick up a harvest, even if it's not the best yield rate, if they haven't fertilized it or weeded it. You know, get something out of the field so we're not buying a blank field and then having to get it ready for next year. So, you know, I think that's what we're going to call the episode for today. Thanks so much for joining me today. Don't forget to drop a like and turn on notifications for more videos, and we'll see you in the next one.